Okay, so welcome to the information session for Ohio University. My name is Eileen Merberg and I'm the Executive Director of Alpha Lambda Delta. We are headquartered in the upstate New York, Rochester, New York area, not terribly far from Ohio. Carson, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Carson Sarver and I'm one of the co-presidents of Alpha Lambda Delta at Ohio University.
Great, so you'll be a great resource for the local information. So I'm just gonna speak really generally. These sessions usually last about 20-30 minutes. So just basically, who are we? We're a National Honor Society. You might be familiar with honor societies from high school. In fact, I think it's just called the National Honor Society. So when you get into college, there are a lot of different collegiate honor societies. A lot of them are major based, so you might not hear of them or be invited to them until you have more coursework in your major. But our unique mission is that we're, first of all, interdisciplinary. So we're open to all majors, and our niche is the first year. So we were founded on the premise of recognizing academic success in the first year. And once you join, you're a member for life and are encouraged and able to be involved if you want all 4 years of college, but it's just based on your success your first semester. We've been around a long time, almost 100 years, founded in 1924 at the University of Illinois. We're technically recognized or have been recognized on 400 universities and colleges, but active on about 300, including Ohio University. One of the key things I always like to say, and we're going to talk about sort of the myths or frequently asked questions or myths or assumptions about honor organizations. And one of them is, aren't they all a scam? And is this for real? So I just wanted to mention that there is a certifying agency in the country called ACHS, Association of College Honor Societies. They are a group that helps honor organizations uphold certain standards to be considered an honor organization. And if they don't belong to ACHS, it can be questionable whether it's a real honor organization or not. Just some examples of what that means that Alpha Lambda Delta does adhere to is the first thing I always like to mention is we are a nonprofit organization. So we're a 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization. That's an important consideration. We're not out to make millions of dollars and, gouge students for hundreds of dollars in fees and pocket it all. We're all about giving back, and we're a charitable scholarship organization. Number two, important consideration, again, if you've gotten invited to other organizations at Ohio University, watch for these things. The second thing is that we are chapter based. Where we have a presence at Ohio University, and Carson will talk about that in a minute. But a lot of organizations are just sort of blanket inviting millions of students without any sort of chapter or a chapter advisor or student leaders or any sort of presence on campus. And you cannot join Alpha Lambda Delta unless you go to a school that has a recognized active chapter. And the third thing I'll just say is that we truly are an academic organization. And so not anybody can get in, not anybody gets invited. You do have to have achieved a 3.5 or higher your first semester. So that's why you're here, why you were invited to join. We're going to talk a little bit more about the fees and membership fee for the organization. I like to at least just mention for now that just think of the fee in two parts, that there is a national fee and then a local fee, and combined is what you're told your fee is. That the national fee is always $30 across the country, $30, no more. But if your fee is higher than 30, that's because the Ohio has added on what they call a local fee or a chapter fee. We'll talk more about that in a minute. There are no annual fees, you only pay once. So just in general, we'll talk a little bit more about the benefits, but it certainly is good for your resume. You can develop leadership skills, career development skills, just recognition for your hard work. I'll talk about perks and honor cords in a minute. You do get a certificate and a pin at a ceremony, an induction ceremony. Carson, can you talk a little bit about, are you guys doing an online ceremony or in person?
We're going to be doing an in-person induction. It's going to be April 10th. I believe we had set for 3 to 4 p.m. However, since it is Mom's Weekend, we just kind of assumed parents would probably be out of town by then. So we were still working. I think we're looking at around like 1 or 2 p.m. so parents are able to attend.
Okay. What's Mom's Weekend? Is that a thing at Ohio?
Yeah, it's going to be from April 8th to the 10th. So then it just kind of worked out that moms will also be able to attend induction ceremony.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, parents
Yeah.
love coming to this. So induction ceremonies are really nice. I mean, if you can't make it, you can still join. It's not required that you be there, but if you can be there, it's really nice. I assume there might be food there. There's usually food or something. But it's a nice ceremony. These are examples of other schools. There's often a cake or cookies or sometimes a whole meal. Okay, so this is where I'll pull Carson in. So I hear a lot of similar questions. So for these info sessions, I just thought I'd pull out a few that you might already be thinking of. So some of them are questions, some of them are assumptions or beliefs. So the first one, I do hear this sometimes. It's like students are sort of questioning, like, why would I join an honor organization? Like, yeah, so I got a 3.5 or a 3.7 or 3.8. Like, so what? What's the big deal? And, you know, we think it is a big deal that it's not easy to achieve that those good grades, especially your first semester. That can often be one of the most challenging in college. Doing it, having done it now, that it really sort of sets a nice foundation for you for future success. And so we were founded on the premise that it is something that should be celebrated. It's an accomplishment, and it's something to be recognized and celebrated. We've been, you know, again, that was our founding almost 100 years ago. And so it is something that we feel strongly about it and sort of why we exist. What if it drops below? Not the end of the world. First of all, not everyone should panic just if it goes below, especially if it goes, you know, 2.8 or something, or a 3.4, whatever it is. It's not required that you maintain a 3.5. You will be encouraged to and get the support to, but you don't get kicked out if your GPA drops below a 3.5. So Carson, you want to say anything more about the importance of recognizing good grades and this maybe it's kind of the kind of support the chapter can offer for helping maintain good grades?
Yeah, so this past semester we've done a couple of study tables, and we're hoping, just because the way the organization was left for us, we're hoping to then like build it more back up. So this upcoming year we're going to have an academics person, so they'll be able to provide you answers with, like, maybe you're a nursing major and you don't know like how to connect with other nursing majors. That academic person within OU's ALD chapter will be able to point you in that direction and stuff like that. As well as we have like a group me for everyone, and we always have people reach out to us. So I think that also helps with maintaining the grades and stuff like that.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just, you know, you'd be joining an organization, again, full of students that you wouldn't otherwise meet because they're in all different majors. So you might not have the same types of classes, but you're all hopefully working towards continuing to do well and be motivated and to help each other. So the next one is, I hear this a lot, is you've already joined 5 other organizations on campus, or you're on a sports team or intramurals, you've got a part-time job, a full-time job, you have a lot on your plate. You're a high achieving student, and so there's also all the time it took to get that 3.5 or higher. So you just don't have time for another thing. And so that might have you thinking that you don't want to join. So the first and most important thing is that involvement is not required. It's certainly encouraged and you'll get a lot out of it, but there is not a requirement once you join you are a member, and you don't have to go to meetings or events. A lot of students just like it because they want to put it on their resume. And so they don't think they will be able to go to any of the events and meetings, but just know that it's not required. So Carson, what would you say about time commitment and time management as a member?
For our chapter, we just have monthly meetings, so the time commitment is very, very minimal. It's always Sundays at like 3 or 4 p.m., and that's also up to whatever the next executive board decides. But so it's very minimal. And then if you do choose to be on exec, we meet every week, same time. This week or this semester, we've been meeting on Fridays just because that's how everyone's schedule worked out. But unless you don't like, if you want to be on exec, it's a bit of a higher commitment. But if you don't want to be on exec, it's pretty much bare minimum. You can show up once if you'd like to. You don't necessarily have to, but
Right.
it's pretty much up to what you want to put into it.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's good. And one thing I always like to add, really think about this, is that right now you might not feel you have the time. You might be very, very busy right this moment, this week, last week, this semester might be just a really busy semester. But you are a second semester freshman. You have a lot of college ahead of you, and a lot's going to change. You're going to learn how to study better, and so you might not need as much time to do well. Things change. Your coursework is going to change. Your extracurriculars are going to change. It's going to ebb and flow. But right now is your only chance to join Alpha Lambda Delta. You only get invited once because it's the first year, because it's based on first year and first semester grades. This is it. So, you can join with the intention of not getting involved, but you might change your mind. And next year, there might be some really cool things going on that you want to go to, that you find that you do have the time for. So I'd be careful about making a decision around time right now when you know that in the next 3 years, things could really change for you. And that you might even want to become a leader in the organization. But even if you don't, there might be 1 or 2 events that are really cool. Some guest speaker they have, or some resume workshop, or something that's really going to help you, that you do find you have the time for. So that's just the other thing about time. So let's talk about money, time and money. So we hear, complaints or concerns, or that it's a little sketchy because money's involved. So in fact, I've outright heard students say, any organization that charges you a fee to be a member is like, gotta be a scam. There's something sketchy about it. So, that's not true, because really most membership organizations do have a membership fee, particularly honor societies. There are no honor societies that don't have a membership fee. $30 is going to be your lowest honor society fee you will find. They don't really, they usually charge a lot more than that. And so we are a membership organization, and there are expenses. There are expenses to offer the services that we offer, that you have a lifetime of benefiting from. And so we try and keep that fee as low as possible. $30 one time for the rest of your life is, we think, pretty low, and we think comes with a lot of value for that. And the certificate and the pin it covers, our leadership development and career development, which I'll talk about. We have a perks program that will pay for itself 5 times over, and scholarships. So the other big thing is that we give out a lot of money in scholarships, because remember that we're a charitable organization. So that's the $30. I can speak to the 30. Anything above 30 is 100% the chapter's money on your campus, and that's what helps run the chapter. So I'll have Carson speak a little bit about some of the expenses that might come with that local fee.
I believe our local fee is only $20, so
Okay.
nothing crazy. I will definitely have to double check with our exec board, but I believe that we decided previous years that it was just going to be $20.
Yep, I can check real quick, but yeah.
Okay.
So talk about some kinds of things that goes towards.
Yeah. So currently, actually, outside of Baker, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but we're putting on a bake sale actually to I believe we're raising money for kids in Athens, but I'm not entirely for sure on that. But we also have been in the works of trying to plan like a date party and stuff like that. We're still trying to get that finalized. So the money from obviously like the local chapter fees will go towards that, as well as in some of our meetings that we've had, our general body ones, we've brought insomnia cookies as just kind of a way of like, thank you for coming. Here's like a nice like insomnia cookie that you can get just based off like what you've put into the local chapter.
Insomnia cookies are the best. So your fee is actually 15, less than you think.
Oh, okay.
So $45 for a lifetime. And you know, the other, yeah, so the 15, like there are no organizations also on your campus. If you do belong to any other club on campus, you're gonna know and see that there are expenses that come with running a student organization. Whether it be renting a room on campus for an event, you might need a microphone for the speaker, and that costs, you know, $100 a pop. Set up, the student union charges to set up the room and tear it down. Food comes at, you know, obviously food is not free. Any sort of giveaways, honor cords, t-shirts, like there are just general expenses that every recognized student organization has, and this is what it goes towards. And oftentimes you're already, if you take a close look at your tuition bill, you're already paying a fee to support student organizations on campus, and you don't have a choice in that. You've already paid it. It's usually called a student activity fee, student government fee, but whatever it is, it all goes towards your student government, and then they dole it out to the various recognized student clubs on campus. Oftentimes honor societies don't get to have any of that because you're a little bit, you're a restricted organization, in that not everyone can join because you have to have met the grade GPA. So just some examples about the money thing. So the question, is it worth it? We think so. We think there's a lot of value. That's really your decision. That's going to be up to you. Again, it's going to be one of the lowest fees you'll see for all that you get for it. And for the investment in the future, it's going to be what you'll have to answer. And again, I think there's a couple examples of how that $45 will have paid for itself based on just a couple of things you do, like food at events and the perks program. So, and there's never ever a reoccurring cost. So that's another thing to be careful about with some of the other organizations. We get calls sometimes that some students and parents who think it was Alpha Lambda Delta that kept charging their card, and you know, it wasn't, because we never do. And then I help parents get the refund from the organization that did charge them. So some will just keep charging your card every semester, every year. But we don't. One time, lifetime. That's sort of our mantra. We sound like a fraternity and sorority. I love fraternities and sororities, nothing against them, but we are not that. So they're very different and unique types of organizations. We just all got named with Greek letters back 100 years ago, and that's how it went. But we are very much an academic honor organization, and our mission is, like I said, recognizing academic achievement and awarding scholarships. So there's probably plenty of social things that go on with Alpha Lambda Delta, but not in the same way or traditions that the social Greek organizations do. And so, but there are other honor societies that you are more than welcome to join. So usually with fraternities and sororities, if you're familiar with them, once you join one, like that's it, you don't join more than one, you choose one and that's it. But for honor societies or other types of honor organizations, you can definitely join more than one. So if you got invited to others, it's up to you. You know, you don't have to pick just one. Carson, did you get invitations for others? Or have you joined other types of similar organizations on campus? What does Ohio have?
I've gotten a couple invitations. I know this year I got one from, oh goodness, it was an honors one that started with like a P. But I mean, there are definitely other honors or honors organizations slash fraternities on campus.
Yep.
I don't believe I've joined any yet.
Yeah.
Besides Alpha Lambda Delta.
Yep. Yeah. So what did you think when you first got, let's talk about the scam thing. Were you questioning the invitation when you first got it? Had you heard about it? Did it seem a little scammy?
No, I was definitely questioning it. I actually, my learning community leader was in Alpha Lambda Delta. So I reached out to her and I was like, hey, like, this isn't a scam, right? This is like an actual organization. And she was like, no, 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 like, this is actual, like, an actual real organization. So just from hearing like her saying, like, yes, it's real, that's why this year we decided as an executive team that we were going to personally email the students as well, in addition to receiving the email, just so that way it seemed less scammy than I guess what it was before, even though it isn't. But
Yeah, yeah. So have emailed everybody?
yes, we've
Yeah.
emailed every single person that we've received. We've emailed about like 3 times now with information.
Okay. Good. Good. Yeah. Yeah. So I know the system we use, it doesn't, sometimes it'll go to your spam folder or something, but it's the only way you can accept the membership online. It's just our portal, but more and more universities are putting sort of firewalls up that make it seem a little, because it's an outside organization. So yeah, okay. So I guess what I hear a lot of our student leaders say about this scam thing is just to do your homework, just do some research, Google all the organizations you got invited to, Google Alpha Lambda Delta. I'm going to show you our website very, very briefly. But that's on you to just do your homework, and I wouldn't write them all off because some of them are really legit and can be really good for you and really good for your resume, even if you don't get involved. You're probably going to have a line on your resume or like a category of awards and honors and recognition, and Alpha Lambda Delta is one that you can put there. Again, we've been around a long time, almost 100 years, 1.3 million members over our lifetime. And so they're all out there reviewing your resume for a job, an internship, graduate school, whatever it is, we're known. And so because grades don't always come up in an interview or a job application, this is a way to sort of draw attention to the fact that you persevered, you did really well your first semester, and that really helps it stand out. And if you do transfer, your membership follows you. So if you're thinking you're transferring from Ohio University, if you transfer someplace that has a chapter, you'd let us know and we'll connect you. We'll update our record to show your new university, and then we'll connect you to that chapter if you wanted to be involved. But if you transfer somewhere where we don't have a chapter, 2 things. One is we'll add you to our national chapter, which is just our sort of database of folks like that who've transferred without a chapter. And just to keep you in the loop and give you, announce new things to you, any new offerings that we're offering nationally. It allows you to still apply for our graduate fellowships, that sort of thing. But the other thing that I always like to say is that maybe you want to start a chapter at that university. We're always looking to establish new chapters at different universities where we're not on their campus. And so that would be an awesome leadership experience for you to actually found a chapter or charter a new chapter. You'd have that opportunity if you transfer. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Oh, and you know what, before I forget, I do want to, I said that we would do prizes for attendance. So if you want to be entered to win a prize, you could put in chat your major or major interest or hometown. That's what I'm doing for prizes, because we're trying to do an incentive to get folks to come. Okay, so just real quickly, I've mentioned a few things that I just thought I'd draw attention to. Our website is nationalald.org, so check that out. The /invited is just a lot of the information that Carson and I have talked about already, and plus more, just in terms of a focus on, okay, so you've been invited, here's what you might want to know. And then the 3 things I mentioned of the many, many benefits nationally is our scholarship program. So check out our scholarships. Just know that you can apply for graduate fellowships for the rest of your life. Many years after graduation from Ohio, you can still come back and apply for grad fellowships. This is that Perks program I mentioned. It's, hundreds of thousands of savings. It's a program you have to sign up for. It comes with your membership, but you opt into it. And it's an app on your phone that'll give you discounts on area restaurants, oil changes, movie tickets. There's a monthly giveaway, you get stuff for free. So it's kind of a cool program called ALD Perks. And then the last thing I like to highlight is our unique leadership development program. So this is an online self-paced series of leadership courses that you can take over time. Each of them has a keynote speaker, and there are readings and quizzes. And if you complete 10 out of 12, you will be issued a national certificate as an ALD LEAD certified student. Again, this is self-paced. And when I say courses, they're like mini courses. So each one would be maybe from 30 to 40 minutes it would take you. Hey, Rochester, New York. Did you hear my intro? We're from Rochester. We're headquartered in Rochester, New York. Hey. That's where I am right now in Fairport. Okay, anything more, Carson, you want to say just about involvement? What are some things that if a student joins at Ohio University, what kinds of things throughout the year, even if you don't have them planned, like what have they done in the past?
I know in the past, I believe they've done like scavenger hunts and stuff like that. I believe just with COVID, a lot of the events have kind of like gone down.
Yeah.
We personally were planning maybe doing like a volleyball tournament and a car wash in the spring, as well as the date party. And I know next year there's going to be a lot of events planned, like the date parties already, and study tables, and any idea anyone has, I'm sure it'll be planned.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because I think Alpha Lambda Delta is, if you join, it's your organization, and like it's for you to help plan. If you wanted to see stuff happen, your executive team, your officers, I'm sure would love to hear ideas from members. Like you have this idea of some raking for the elderly during the fall, or intramural games, or some social activity, go roller skating or ice skating or something. So they're always looking for ideas, and then you might even yourself want to be a leader in the org, but not everybody wants that or has time for that, but lots of opportunities for fun things. Honor cords are very popular, so keep that in mind. If you join, you would get to wear an honor cord at graduation. In fact, you might end up with multiple honor cords as these students, and we have actually medallions and sashes, stoles, they're called. So that's a very popular honor society thing that you could look forward to. Not sure if OU has some social media. Do you want to put it in chat? What your
Yes, I will
okay.
find. We have Twitter right now.
Okay. Do you guys post on it?
Yes.
Okay. So we're on all the major ones. In particular, so we're at National ALD, and Carson will put the OU chapters social media link in chat. I'll announce it too for the recording, but check us out on Instagram. I love our Instagram account because we post a lot of fun things. Great. Ohio U ALD. Ohio U ALD. We do like a study tip Sunday, why join Wednesday, career tip Tuesday. I'm going out of order. Saturday spotlights. So we do a lot of fun things. We have a bunch of schools that are in the Sweet 16 March Madness. So we just put a post up about that. We welcome, after you're inducted, there's going to be a post for your university and welcoming you. So check us out there. Deadlines. You said the ceremony is April 10th.
Yes.
So about 10 days before is your deadline to accept membership. So pretty soon, your invitation is closing fairly soon. Carson, anything more that you would have shared at an info session that I haven't covered, or anything else you want to mention about the OU chapter?
I think you pretty much covered everything. I will say too that in Alpha Lambda Delta, we're also big on volunteering. I forgot to mention, we did have the opportunity to participate in Bobcathon at OU. So that was another thing that we didn't necessarily create, but that we were involved in. But I think you covered pretty much everything else though.
Okay. Yeah, service is very important to Alpha Lambda Delta and to chapters. I don't know of a chapter who doesn't engage in some service activities, and that can be really rewarding. And again, you can offer ideas for service. We offer a theme every year that you don't always have to follow, but it's just some suggestions. This year it's hunger and food insecurities, and one year it was animals and the elderly, and yeah, so lots of opportunity for that. If you have any questions, you can email ald@nationalald.org or text that phone line or that text line. I answer texts immediately, pretty much, unless it's in the middle of the night. And even then, sometimes I do. So are there any questions for the students who are here? You can put in chat, or you can just turn your camera on or mic on and ask a question. Let's give it another minute to see if there's any questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Anybody have a question? Okay. Maybe we did cover everything. So I'm gonna send everybody, I'm gonna throw this recording up on YouTube and send everybody a link. Hopefully it answers more questions, and I hope you all join, and thank you so much. Thanks, Carson, for your help tonight. This was great.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for being here, and that's that. Have a great night. Thanks, Carson.
Bye. It was nice to
Later.
meet you.
Bye. You too.